Petzl is a manufacturer of helmets, ascenders, descenders, headlamps, and harnesses for caving, based in France. They make two caving seat harness models, the Fractio and the Superavanti, that are probably the most popular caving harnesses in use around the world. These two harnesses have many basic features in common. They're both made from 44mm flat polyester webbing with adjustable leg loops that have a protective TPU coating, and an adjustable waist belt with an extra piece of webbing to protect the buckle from abrasion. Both harnesses have two Dyneema gear loops, one on each side. Both harnesses are also available in two sizes, a small medium that uses yellow stitching, and a medium large that uses black stitching. The main differences are that the Fractio has a second narrower waist belt that rides above the main waist belt, what Petzl describes as a comfort strap, and the main attachment points for the D-Myone or Omni carabiner on the front of the Fractio are solid welded aluminum triangles. The clip-in loops on the Superavanti are a more traditional folded and sewn loop of webbing with a Dyneema protective sleeve. These extra comfort and convenience features make the Fractio slightly heavier and more expensive than the Superavanti. The flat polyester webbing that these harnesses are made from does not absorb much water or mud and is resistant to dimensional changes. The webbing material, TPU covering on the leg loops, and low-profile design makes these harnesses extremely abrasion resistant in most cave environments. The Fractio, after 2 years of regular use, is showing a little wear and tear on the TPU covering on the leg loops, but the webbing is almost like new. The gear loops are made from extremely strong and abrasion-resistant Dyneema webbing, and this also shows almost no signs of wear. As a reminder, as with any caving seat harness, the gear loops are not rated for life safety applications. The only connection point for attaching yourself to a rope or anchor should be the central Myone or Omni. However, the gear loops are strong enough to use for tethering packs, drills, or any other piece of gear. As with many caving seat harnesses, the gear loops are small and there's only one on each side, so they're only really useful for clipping a descender and cow's tails. It would be nice to add a second loop on each side, such as on many of the MTDE harnesses. This can be handy for clipping a few additional items such as a wrench, knife, a spare ascender, some basic rigging hardware, or a rescue pulley. I carry these things all the time and it gets very crowded on the Petzl gear loops, which increases the potential for unclipping the wrong thing. The buckles for the leg loops on the Petzl harnesses are located on the inside of the thigh. Some cavers report that this can be uncomfortable, but most don't find that it's an issue. Some caving harness manufacturers locate the buckles on the outside for comfort reasons, but the trade-off is that they are more exposed to abrasion. The buckles on the Petzl harnesses are a traditional design that requires the webbing to be doubled back to secure them. There is a red "Danger" printed on the outside of the buckle to warn the caver if it hasn't been properly doubled back. There are no issues with the buckles slipping or coming loose as long as the webbing is doubled back. I typically adjust my leg loops and waist belt to the desired size and then never change them. To put on the harness, I step into the leg loops as you would for a climbing style harness. Alternatively, some cavers prefer to completely undo and rethread the leg loop buckles to take the harness off or put it on. As long as the harness doesn't get too muddy, this seems to work well enough, and the slots in the buckles are easy to thread. The second waist strap on the Fractio is designed to provide a little extra support higher up the back, although I have to admit that I don't really notice a difference in comfort between the single waistband of the Superavanti and the double waistband of the Fractio. If you use the Petzl Torse for a frog chest harness, then the back of the Torse can be attached to the second waist strap of the Fractio, and then it doesn't pull up on the main waist strap. The double waist strap of the Fractio is a little more prone to getting twisted in the leg loops when storing your vertical gear in a pack. With any vertical gear, there's always a little time required to untangle it when first putting it on, but I find the Fractio is more likely to get twisted up somewhere than the more simple design of the Superavanti. Easily the biggest advantage of the Fractio over the Superavanti or almost any other caving seat harness is the metal attachment points for a D-Myone or Omni carabiner. These clipping points make it very easy to close or open the harness, and they're an easy point for clipping a pack for tethering. It's also much easier to close the Myone or Omni, as well as inspect that it's been closed properly, since the aluminum rings don't interfere with or obstruct viewing the gate or screw closure. The only issue I've had with the metal rings is that if you're tethering a heavy camp pack and attach it directly to the bottom of the Myone, then I've had the Myone rotate out of the usual position when crossing a mid-rope obstacle and the harness is unweighted. Since the Myon or Omni are rated for loads in multiple directions, this isn't really a safety concern, but can be a little unnerving, although it is a rare occurrence. Most caving harnesses have sewn webbing connection loops, and the extra size and friction prevents the central Myon from rotating as easily. But these webbing loops sometimes abrade against the Myon and are often the reason for retiring a cave harness. The biggest issue I have, which is common to both Petzl seat harnesses, is that the back of the leg loops tend to slide down the back of my legs when I'm traveling through horizontal cave. There are no risers on the back of the leg loops, as is common on climbing harnesses, as well as some models of caving harnesses. I never have problems when on rope because the harness remains weighted, but as soon as I start crawling or chimneying, then the back of the leg loops slide down and begin to impede normal range of motion of the legs. I've experimented with adjusting the tightness of the leg loops from very tight to very loose, and the problem persists. Not all cavers seem to experience this issue, which suggests that the shape of the legs may be a variable, but I've talked to many other cavers ranging from heavy to thin that have struggled with this. The only solution is to regularly reach down and pull the back of the leg loops back up, but this gets annoying quickly. Things I like about the Petzl Fractio and Superavanti are excellent abrasion resistance, a simple and low-profile design, strong and durable Myon connection points, and easy adjustability. Things I don't like are the small number of gear loops and the tendency of the leg loops to slide down the back of the legs. The Petzl harnesses are also a couple of the most expensive options available. For a comparison of features and specifications, as well as video reviews of other caving seat harnesses, please visit the Caving Gear section of my website at derekbristol.com.